Asia breathes like an ancient organism. Its forests sweat humidity into the air. Its mountains carve shadows across entire kingdoms, and its wetlands pulse with life so old that it predates human memory. Inside this living continent, something moves with a silence so perfect that evolution itself seems to hold its breath. These are the most venomous snakes of Asia, shaped by millions of years under pressure, competition, and an ecosystem that rewards precision over force. Their bodies are quiet, but their biology is not. Beneath each scale, enzymes wait like coiled mechanisms. Inside every foam, a microscopic reservoir of biochemical design is ready to rewrite the fate of whatever crosses their path. A single drop of their venom can collapse blood, paralyze muscle, or shut down the electrical rhythm of the nervous system in seconds. But danger is only the surface. The real story is deeper. Why did Asia become the birthplace of such powerful venom systems? What hidden pressures sculpted snakes capable of striking faster than thought and delivering toxins more complex than anything found in the Americas, Africa, or Australia? How can a creature with no limbs, no voice, and almost no sound manipulate chemistry with such accuracy that even modern science still struggles to decode it? The trail to these answers begins long before the first snake ever existed. It starts on the land itself, in the tropical rainforests where heat accelerates life, in the deserts where survival demands efficiency, in the mountains where cold shapes metabolism, in the rice fields and mangroves where prey moves unpredictably and predators must adapt or disappear. Asia is not just a continent. It is an evolutionary crucible, and inside it, snakes became specialists. Some mastered stealth, some mastered speed, some mastered venom so potent that it behaves like a living algorithm, targeting organs with surgical precision. To understand these snakes, we must first understand the world that built them, the atmosphere they taste with their tongue, the vibrations they sense through the ground, the heat signatures they read like glowing maps in the dark. This is a journey into biology, chemistry, and time itself, a journey into the engines of evolution. And before we meet the deadliest vipers and elapids of Asia, we open with a single truth. To understand their power, we must first understand the continent that created them. Asia is not a single landscape. It is a continent built from contradictions, each one shaping a different kind of serpent. To understand why this land produced some of the most venomous snakes on Earth, we must first understand how violently diverse Asia truly is. From the frozen Siberian plains to the tropical jungles of Southeast Asia, from arid deserts to monsoon-flooded rice fields, every environment forces life to evolve in a unique direction. And evolution here does not move gently. It pushes, pressures, and punishes. In the rainforests, competition is relentless. Every creature is camouflaged fast or toxic. Light barely reaches the forest floor, turning the ground into a battlefield of stealth. Snakes in this world do not survive by strength. They survive by becoming invisible. Pit vipers evolved heat-sensing organs because vision alone was not enough in these forests. Their prey lives in constant motion, and the humidity carries scent in unpredictable ways. To hunt here, a predator needs to detect warmth itself. This environmental pressure sculpted vipers, whose faces read heat like a language. Move north, and the world shifts again. Towering mountains cut through Asia like vertebrae. Here, temperatures drop, oxygen thins, prey becomes scarce, and energy must be used with ruthless efficiency. Snakes in mountain regions cannot afford wasted strikes. One mistake means starvation. Venom became faster, more specialized, more adaptive. A bite needed to immobilize instantly, because a fleeing prey might vanish into rocks and snow, stealing precious calories the snake would never recover. In the deserts and dry plains of Asia, the rules change once more. Heat burns water out of the air. Shade is rare. Life depends on ambush, patience, and timing. This is the kingdom of vipers with saw-scaled bodies and lightning reflexes. Here, venom evolved not only for hunting but also for defense, because survival in open terrain requires both precision and intimidation. These snakes develop toxins that affect blood chemistry with alarming speed, turning the internal machinery of their prey into chaos before escape is possible. As if these environments were not enough, Asia built even stranger arenas. Mangroves where roots twist like living mazes. Rice fields where humans unintentionally create new ecological theaters. Bamboo forests that echo with insects and amphibians. Each biome adds another pressure point, another evolutionary demand, another weapon forged by natural selection. And in these worlds, two major families rose to dominance: the vipers and the elapids. Vipers became masters of mechanical venom deployment. Hinged fangs long enough to function like biological syringes. Muscles engineered to contract with explosive force. Venom glands built for complex chemical recipes. Every strike is a mechanical event, a fusion of anatomy and physics. Elapids moved in a different direction. Their fangs are shorter, their venom more neurological, their strategies cleaner and faster. Where vipers destroy blood and tissue, elapids disrupt the electrical code of life. They target synapses, breathing, heart rhythm, and communication between nerves and muscles. Asia forces both families to sharpen their gifts. Competition is brutal. Prey evolves resistance. Climate demands specialization. And the continent's sheer size means that evolutionary experiments occur simultaneously across thousands of ecosystems. The result is extraordinary diversity. No other continent compresses so many ecological pressures into one landmass. No other continent pushes venom systems to be so varied, so complex, so chemically intelligent. Asia became the evolutionary engine of the world's most dangerous snakes because it never stops changing. Floods strike, droughts burn, winters freeze, summers suffocate, prey migrates, predators adapt. And in this endless cycle, venom becomes not just a weapon but an answer to scarcity, an answer to competition, an answer to survival. Compared to other continents, Asia carries a unique combination of evolutionary stress. South America has dense jungles, but lacks the extreme deserts and frozen highlands. Africa has powerful predators, but fewer species of venomous snakes with highly specialized toxins. Australia has potent venom, but far less diversity of environments. Asia stands alone because it forces every biological innovation to coexist within one massive, ever-changing laboratory. The continent writes its history through earthquakes, monsoons, volcanic eruptions, and shifting climates. Snakes read that history through their bodies. Their venom tells the story of ancient forests, vanished seas, emerging mountains, and ecosystems that have risen and collapsed across millions of years. Before we meet the individual species, we must carry one idea with us. These snakes are not dangerous because nature chose brutality. They are dangerous because Asia demanded excellence. And evolution always answers its toughest challenges with masterpieces. Venom is not an accident of nature. It is an engineered system, refined across millions of years. Every molecule inside it has a purpose, a target, a specific function. When we talk about Asian snakes and their lethal potential, we are not speaking about brutality. We are speaking about biochemistry, so advanced that modern laboratories still struggle to replicate its precision. The process begins inside the head of the snake. Venom glands sit behind the eyes, wrapped in layers of muscle that act like organic pumps. When the snake strikes, these muscles contract with explosive accuracy, forcing the venom through ducts and into hollow fangs. Those fangs, especially in vipers, hinge forward like switchblades. They fold when the mouth closes and rise into position the instant a strike begins. Anatomically, a viper's skull is a perfect machine for injection. The bones are lightweight, flexible, and built for sudden movement. Each motion is measured. Each degree of angle is calculated through instinct refined by evolution. Elapids take a different approach. Their fangs are shorter and fixed, but the venom they deliver travels through the nervous system with devastating speed. Where vipers tear the body apart chemically, elapids shut it down electrically. The creation of venom starts with proteins synthesized inside glandular cells. These proteins fold into shapes that decide their function. Some break down blood. Some disrupt nerve signals. Some destroy tissue so quickly that prey collapses within seconds. A snake does not consciously control this chemistry, but its body has learned through evolution how to produce mixtures that match its environment. In dense forests, where prey can escape into thick vegetation, Venom must act quickly. In open deserts, where sunlight and heat challenge survival, Venom must act efficiently, conserving the snake's energy by shortening the struggle. Inside each venom gland, the composition is not static. It changes depending on diet, season, and evolutionary lineage. If a snake regularly hunts amphibians, its venom may contain toxins specialized in disrupting their physiology. If it hunts rodents, enzymes may shift toward anticoagulant or neurotoxic formulas. This adaptive chemistry is one of the reasons Asian snakes are so diverse and so potent. In some species, venom contains components that cause blood to clot too quickly, turning circulation into a blockage of thickened fluid. In others, venom prevents clotting entirely, causing internal bleeding that overwhelms the prey system. This duality is not randomness. It is design shaped by ecological need. The muscles responsible for venom delivery are equally remarkable. They contract faster than those of most animals, giving snakes the ability to fire venom under pressure with incredible speed. A single strike often takes less than 1/10 of a second. In that moment, the snake measures distance, calculates angle, activates its jaw mechanics, contracts the venom glands, drives the fangs forward, and withdraws before the prey can react. Venom is expensive for a snake to produce. It costs energy and resources. This means the strike must be perfect. Evolution therefore refined accuracy as much as toxicity. Even more fascinating is venom metering. Snakes do not always inject the same amount. They can control how much venom they release depending on threat, prey size, and urgency. This is a biological decision made in fractions of a second. A small frog may require only a trace dose. A large rodent may require a full injection. In defensive situations, many snakes deliver almost nothing, preferring dry bites that warn rather than kill. This shows that venom is more than a weapon. It is a resource to be managed. It is a currency of survival. And in Asia, where environments vary dramatically, this currency is always balanced with precision. The chemistry itself is a marvel. Venom contains enzymes that open up tissue, peptides that pierce cell membranes, neurotoxins that disconnect muscle from brain, and proteins that dismantle blood pathways. Each component functions like a key designed to unlock a specific part of the body. Some keys break open cells to release nutrients for digestion. Others paralyze prey so it cannot escape. Others destabilize the cardiovascular system, collapsing blood pressure in minutes. The result is a biological cascade, a chain reaction engineered to end the struggle quickly. This efficiency matters because snakes swallow their prey whole. They cannot risk injury. They cannot risk long chases. Venom solves this. It is not aggression. It is survival refined into molecular art. And in Asia, this art reached its highest level. To understand venom fully, we must look at the evolutionary pressures that shaped it. Asia's ecosystems are chaotic, competitive, and layered with predators and prey that constantly test each other's limits. In these environments, venom became an evolutionary answer to speed, stealth, and survival. For vipers, the challenge was simple. Their bodies are thick, heavy, and specialized for ambush, not pursuit. They needed a tool that could finish a hunt they could not chase. And so their venom became a biochemical hammer, crushing internal systems with devastating precision. Hemotoxic venom, common among vipers, attacks the blood and tissues. It dissolves cell walls, disrupts clotting pathways, and destabilizes circulation. The prey often collapses within seconds, even if it manages to run. The snake then follows the chemical trail left behind by its own venom. This is one of nature's most elegant hunting strategies. The venom not only subdues, but also marks the prey with a signature of enzymes the snake can track. Elapids faced a different problem. Their bodies are lighter and more active. They move faster and cover more ground. Their prey often fights violently or escapes unpredictably. Evolution responded by shifting their venom toward neurotoxicity. Neurotoxins target communication inside the prey's nervous system. They block acetylcholine receptors, shutting down the signals that control movement and breathing. The result is paralysis. Muscles stop. The diaphragm freezes. Even the heart can slow or fail. This makes elapid venom incredibly efficient. A paralyzed prey cannot fight or flee. A paralyzed predator cannot kill the snake. Evolution rewarded this clean, silent strategy. Inside every drop of venom lies a story of specialization. Some snakes evolve toxins that target specific animals. A viper that hunts birds may carry venom that collapses high metabolism circulatory systems. A krait that hunts other snakes may carry venom that disrupts reptilian nerves more effectively than mammalian ones. Venom composition is a molecular biography. It remembers what the snake needed to kill thousands of generations ago and adapts to new challenges today. Climate also plays a role. In hotter environments, venom reactions accelerate. In colder regions, toxins may remain active longer, compensating for slower metabolic rates. This is why species like the Himalayan pit viper maintain unique venom profiles, perfectly suited to freezing mountain nights. Even gravity has influence. In arboreal species that hunt from branches, venom must act quickly because a falling prey could be lost or injured beyond the snake's reach. In ground-dwelling species, venom may act slightly slower but with deeper tissue penetration, allowing the snake to track the prey's escape path. Diet, temperature, altitude, humidity, prey type, and ecological niche all sculpted venom into a diverse array of biochemical tools. But the engineering does not end with the venom itself. The delivery system evolved in equal complexity. The skulls of vipers evolved to maximize the angle and penetration of injection. Their fangs are not static. They articulate on joints that allow them to swing outward, retract, or adjust based on strike orientation. This mobility gives vipers the ability to inject venom with maximum efficiency regardless of the target's position. Elapids, with fixed fangs, rely on accuracy. They must bite precisely. Their strikes are fast, direct, and controlled because their venom acts almost instantly on neural pathways. A clean bite ensures immediate effect. Each family mastered a different engineering philosophy. Vipers built mechanical advantage. Elapids built chemical precision. These two approaches coexist across Asia's landscapes, competing and refining themselves through natural selection. Scientists often describe venom as a biochemical algorithm. Each component performs a function that leads to another reaction, which then triggers another. Protein A disrupts blood flow. Protein B blocks a receptor. Protein C opens cell membranes. Together, they create a cascade that overwhelms the prey's physiology in seconds. This understanding forces us to rethink what venom truly is. It is not chaos. It is code. It is not violence. It is strategy. It is not an act of aggression. It is a survival mechanism written in molecules. Asia's snakes became masters of this molecular writing because survival here is an unforgiving test. Only the species capable of producing and delivering precise venom could thrive. Venom, therefore, is not the story of death. It is the story of adaptation. It is evolution's answer to the question every species must face. How do you endure in a world that never stops changing? In Asia, venom became the ultimate solution. Among all the venomous snakes in Asia, vipers form a league of their own. They are not the largest. They are not the fastest. But they are the masters of controlled violence, sculpted by ecosystems where precision determines survival. Their fangs are longer. Their venom is more chemically diverse, and their strikes are among the most explosive actions in the animal kingdom. To understand the true scale of their power, we must meet the species that define this evolutionary masterpiece. The Russell's viper stands first. Thick-bodied, heavily patterned, and deceptively calm. It is one of the most dangerous snakes in Asia, not because of its size, but because of its combination of speed and venom complexity. Its fangs act like needles built for maximum penetration, and its venom is a cocktail that attacks blood chemistry with brutal efficiency. Unlike many vipers, the Russell's viper injects venom that simultaneously disrupts clotting, destroys tissue, and collapses circulation. This multi-layered assault makes it one of the leading causes of snakebite mortality in South and Southeast Asia. What makes this species even more formidable is its reflexes. A Russell's viper can strike faster than a human eye can process motion, and once it commits, the attack is decisive. Nothing about its biology is wasted. It senses red vibration through the ground. Its pupils widen to measure light even in shifting environments. Its muscles coil and uncoil with mathematical precision. Every part of its body serves the purpose of a perfect ambush predator. But the Russell's viper is not alone in its silent reign. The saw-scaled viper, much smaller but vastly more aggressive, dominates the dry zones of the Middle East, India, and parts of China. Its body is compact, its movement rapid, and its venom astonishingly potent for its size. This species is responsible for more envenomations than almost any other snake in Asia. The reason is simple. It lives close to human settlements, hides under debris, and reacts with explosive defensiveness. The saw-scaled viper possesses a unique warning display. It rubs its textured scales together to create a rasping sound. This is not a roar. It is not a hiss. It is a mechanical friction call, an evolutionary invention meant to signal danger without wasting energy. When the strike comes, it is like a spring released from tension. The venom enters the bloodstream and begins affecting clotting factors almost instantly. Some proteins cause the blood to thicken and freeze. Others deplete platelets entirely. The body loses its internal order. Within minutes, circulation becomes a battlefield. In the forests of Japan, Taiwan, and the Ryukyu Islands, another lineage of vipers evolved along a different path. The Habu vipers are hunters shaped by insular environments where prey availability shifts rapidly. Islands create evolutionary shortcuts. They compress ecological pressure into smaller spaces, forcing species to adapt quickly or vanish. The Habu vipers develop powerful heat-sensing pits that can detect the faintest temperature change. In the darkness, a rodent's body glows like a moving star. These sensors allow the Habu to strike with near-perfect accuracy, even when visibility is low. Their venom is optimized for speed. It breaks down tissue before the prey can travel far, ensuring the snake does not waste energy pursuing a wounded animal through dense undergrowth. Yet despite their lethality, Habu vipers are also highly adaptable. They thrive in forests, agricultural zones, and even urban edges. This adaptability stems from their evolutionary history. On islands, resources fluctuate. A species must survive scarcity. The Habu's venom reflects this truth. It is efficient, potent, and metabolically economical. A small dose achieves enormous effect. Then there's Deadliest, the Siamese viper. At first glance, it resembles the Russell's viper, and that is no coincidence. These species share a lineage shaped by similar pressures across different regions, but Deadliest refined its venom into something even more specialized. Its toxins cause dramatic shifts in blood pressure, cellular breakdown, and widespread coagulation disorders. Scientists studying its venom describe it as one of the most chemically sophisticated among vipers. The Siamese viper is an example of evolution's parallel artistry. Two species, separated by geography, arriving at equally extraordinary solutions. Their venoms diverged where their ecosystems diverged. The Russell's, optimized for plains and agricultural landscapes, carries a venom designed for fast collapse. The Siamese viper, shaped by more varied terrain, carries venom that acts in waves, overwhelming multiple systems at once. Each species holds a unique weapon forged by the demands of survival. What unites all these vipers is their hunting logic. They are ambush predators that let the world come to them. Their bodies blend into leaves, soil, or forest debris. Their breathing slows. Their muscles relax into stillness, but their senses remain hyper-attuned to the environment. The ground becomes a map of vibrations. The air becomes a language of chemical cues. Heat becomes a beacon. When prey enters range, the viper becomes a machine of motion. Its skull pivots. Its muscles pulse. Its fangs rise into striking position. And the strike, lasting only milliseconds, becomes a perfect fusion of physics and biology. Dopamine in the viewer spikes because the predator appears both calm and explosive. But the truth is poetic. Vipers do not rely on aggression. They rely on design. Their venom is tailored to their niche. Their sensors evolved to solve problems created by their landscapes. Their body language is the language of survival. Across Asia, vipers rule not through force, but through refinement. Evolution tested them in forests, deserts, mountains, and islands. And in every test, they answered by becoming masterpieces of biological engineering. They represent the pinnacle of venom specialization on the continent. Not the biggest, not the strongest, but the most complete. If vipers dominate through mechanical power and biochemical violence, elapids conquer Asia through strategy. Their venom is cleaner, faster, and infinitely more precise. Their bodies are built for movement. Their hunting logic is built for efficiency. And their biology answers a different question than that of the vipers. Where vipers ask how to break down a body, elapids ask how to shut it off. This distinction makes them some of the most dangerous snakes, not only in Asia, but in the world. At the top stands the King Cobra, a creature wrapped in myth, yet anchored in scientific wonder. It is the largest venomous snake on Earth, reaching lengths of 5 meters, but size is not its true power. Intelligence is. The King Cobra recognizes territories, builds nests, and navigates forests with an awareness no other serpent possesses. Unlike vipers, which ambush from stillness, the King Cobra hunts with intention. It moves silently through bamboo forests and tall grass, tracking other snakes by scent, vibration, and heat. Its diet consists mostly of serpents, including highly venomous species. Evolution shaped the King Cobra's venom not for general-purpose killing, but for disabling other snakes quickly. Its neurotoxins work with ruthless clarity, shutting down nerves that control movement and respiration. What makes this species extraordinary is not just its venom, but its strategy. The King Cobra chooses when to attack. It chooses when to observe. When it rises, lifting a third of its body into the air, it is not threatening blindly. It is gathering information, measuring, calculating. The display of a King Cobra is an evolutionary conversation between warning and dominance. A creature that can kill with one bite prefers to avoid conflict unless necessary. This is not aggression. It is intelligence shaped by survival. Alongside the King Cobra, the Indian cobra stands as a cultural icon, a species woven into myth, religion, and human memory. But beyond symbolism, the biology of the Indian cobra reveals a predator built for speed. Its neurotoxins target synaptic communication with devastating precision. Within moments of a bite, signals between nerves and muscles begin to fail. Eyelids droop. Breathing slows. The victim becomes a prisoner inside its own body. The hood, often seen as an aggressive display, is also a biological tool. When expanded, it increases the cobra's visual presence, discouraging predators and conserving venom for necessary encounters. This is a key trait among elapids. Efficiency rules every decision. The Chinese cobra adds another dimension to elapid evolution, living near human settlements, agricultural fields, and urban edges. This species adapted to environments where noise, heat signatures, and structures behave differently from wild landscapes. To survive in these shifting conditions, its venom evolved to be both fast-acting and versatile. Some components target muscles, others interfere with neuron communication. This adaptability allows the Chinese cobra to thrive in regions where ecological conditions change rapidly. Evolution rewarded flexibility in venom and behavior, but among all Asian elapids, perhaps none are as quietly lethal as the Malayan Krait. Unlike the King Cobra, which announces its presence with a towering display, the Krait prefers silence. It moves at night, avoiding conflict. It rarely strikes unless provoked, yet its venom is one of the most potent neurotoxins on the continent. It binds to receptors at the neuromuscular junction and prevents signals from reaching the muscles. The body shuts down quietly. Victims often fall asleep without realizing their breathing is fading. Scientists studying kraits describe them as biological paradoxes. They are gentle in behavior, but catastrophic in effect. Their strategy is minimalism. No wasted energy. No unnecessary motion. A krait bite does not aim to overwhelm through pain or tissue destruction. It aims to erase the connection between brain and body. This is evolution at its most elegant and terrifying. When comparing elapids to vipers, differences become clear. Vipers destroy. Elapids disable. Vipers rely on mechanical advantage. Elapids rely on chemical speed. Vipers strike from stillness. Elapids use motion as a weapon. And yet, both groups reached the peak of venom evolution on the same continent. Asia forced each to master a different survival pathway, creating a contrast that amplifies the identity of both families. What unites elapids is their neurological focus. Their venoms are not designed to create chaos in the bloodstream. They are designed to interrupt the electrical code of life. Acetylcholine receptors, sodium channels, synaptic vesicles. These microscopic structures become battlegrounds the moment an elapid strikes. Within seconds, nerves lose the ability to communicate. Muscles fail to contract. Breathing slows. If the venom acts quickly enough, the body collapses while the brain remains aware. This is not brutality. It is biological efficiency. And in Asia's vast landscapes, efficiency is the key to survival. The evolutionary pressure that shaped elapids is rooted in movement. Their prey runs. Their predators pursue. Their environments shift from forest to grassland to field. A slow venom would be a death sentence. A venom that destroys tissue would be too metabolically expensive. A venom that disables instantly is the perfect answer. That answer became the hallmark of Asian elapids. Clean, fast, precise. They strike with purpose, not panic. They do not rely on deception, but on the chemical truth written in their venom. In the end, elapids became the strategists of Asia, masters of neurological warfare, architects of venom that behaves like a silent command shutting down the body. Kings, cobras, kraits, and their kin represent evolution's choice to refine rather than overpower. And in the grand landscape of Asia serpents, they are the empire that rules through intelligence and clarity, not chaos. What makes Asia's venomous snakes truly extraordinary is not just their venom or their hunting strategies. It is the invisible machinery inside their bodies, systems so refined that they blur the line between instinct and intelligence. To understand why these creatures dominate their environments, we must step into the hidden world of their senses, their biology, and the evolutionary forces that sculpted them into silent masters of survival. A snake's perception begins with vibration. While humans rely heavily on vision and sound, snakes experience the world through the movement of Earth itself. Their lower jaws are connected to the ground in a way that allows them to feel minute tremors. A lizard scurrying across leaves, a rodent shifting its weight in the soil, footsteps from an approaching predator. All of these generate vibrations that travel through the ground and into the snake's skull, where specialized bones translate them into information. This sensory ability gives snakes awareness beyond sight. They detect life before it reveals itself. Their brains interpret vibration as a three-dimensional map of movement, allowing them to predict patterns before visual contact is made. Then comes smell, or more accurately, chemical perception. Snakes do not smell with their noses alone. Their tongues capture particles from the air and deliver them to the Jacobson's organ, a chemical analysis chamber located in the roof of the mouth. This organ breaks down scent into meaning. What species passed by? How recently? Whether it was injured? Whether it was afraid? While humans perceive smell as a single sensation, snakes perceive it as a detailed biological report. Their world is not filled with aromas. It is filled with data. Vision adds another layer. Despite the myth that snakes have poor eyesight, many Asian species have exceptional visual acuity, especially in low light. Their pupils adjust rapidly to shifting brightness, and their retinas contain cells specialized for motion detection. But the greatest visual mastery belongs to pit vipers, whose heat-sensing pits allow them to literally see temperature. These pits detect infrared radiation and generate thermal images that merge with traditional vision. To a pit viper, a warm-blooded animal glows like a lantern in the dark. This ability is so advanced that scientists once believed it required cognitive processing beyond what a snake's brain should handle. But evolution solved the problem by wiring these pits directly into the optic tectum, creating a fused sensory field with no extra processing needed. It is not intelligence in the human sense. It is biological design at its highest efficiency. Hearing, though limited in airborne perception, also plays a role. Snakes detect deep frequencies that humans often cannot register. Combined with ground vibrations, this creates a dual-layer detection system. In dense forests, where echoes distort sound, this low-frequency tuning helps snakes interpret environmental patterns without confusion. The integration of these senses forms a nervous system that operates with precision and restraint. A snake's brain is small, but it is highly specialized. Its neuron circuits prioritize survival, mapping real-world inputs to instinctive responses with remarkable clarity. Every strike, every retreat, every decision is guided by sensory data filtered through millions of years of evolution. One of the most fascinating elements of snake biology is their internal rhythm. Their bodies operate in a state of controlled minimalism. Heart rate remains low. Breathing slows. Muscles conserve energy until the exact moment of action. This conservation strategy allows snakes to survive long periods without food and execute rapid bursts of motion without warning. The inner stillness of a snake is not laziness. It is efficiency, a reduction of unnecessary energy expenditure until the environment offers a decisive opportunity. Even digestion reflects this strategy. After feeding, metabolic rates can increase dramatically, allowing the snake to break down prey with accelerated chemistry. Enzymes activate in stages, processing tissue, bone, and organ matter in a sequence optimized for nutrient absorption. The entire digestive system behaves like a timed chemical engine. Evolution shaped these systems through trial and refinement. Every adaptation came from a pressure. Heat forced sensory evolution. Prey scarcity forced efficient energy use. Competition forced venom to become more specialized. Habitat diversity forced snakes to evolve multiple strategies simultaneously. Some adaptations remain unexplained. Scientists studying snake physiology continue to uncover biochemical processes that defy expectations. Certain species appear to regulate blood flow in ways that protect vital organs during extreme exertion. Others modify metabolic states during long fasts, entering a form of suspended consumption that resembles biological meditation. Some species exhibit chemical pathways in venom synthesis that are not fully understood. The exact genetic triggers behind venom variation, for instance, remain one of the great mysteries of evolutionary biology. Snakes adjust venom composition with surprising flexibility. Diet, stress, temperature, and ecological shifts all contribute to changes in the venom profile. This dynamic chemistry gives snakes the ability to adapt to prey resistance or environmental shifts over generations. What humans interpret as danger is, in reality, a highly specialized survival system. Snakes do not hunt with malice. They hunt with precision. Their senses, brain, and evolution form a trinity of efficiency. They see heat. They taste the air. They feel the world through the ground. And in the silence between motions, their biology waits like a coiled equation. This invisible science is what allows Asia's venomous snakes to thrive where other predators fail. It is what makes them survivors of ancient climates, geological upheavals, and ecological revolutions. In the grand timeline of Earth, humans are recent visitors. Snakes are the memory of the planet made flesh. Their senses are ancient languages. Their biology is a relic of the past. Their evolution is a record of survival written across millions of years. To witness an Asian viper or elapid is to witness a species that carries the blueprint of nature's most efficient design. Evolution is not a straight path. It bends, twists, experiments, and abandons ideas that fail. But in Asia, evolutionary experiments are amplified by the continent's enormous scale and ecological diversity. This creates a perfect environment for unusual adaptations, curious evolutionary quirks, and biological contrasts that make Asian snakes some of the most fascinating organisms on Earth. One of the most striking differences among Asian serpents is the speed of their venom. Some species develop venom that works slowly, spreading through tissue and blood in a methodical biochemical progression. Others evolved venom that acts almost instantly, shutting down essential systems within minutes. The reasons behind these differences reveal the pressures of their environments. Slow-acting venom often evolved in species whose prey does not travel far or fast. Amphibians, for example, require less immediate immobilization than birds or rodents. These slower venoms focus on digestive preparation, breaking down tissues from within, allowing the snake to save energy by outsourcing the early stages of digestion to its toxins. Fast-acting venom evolved for the opposite problem. In forests dense with escape routes, or deserts where prey can disappear into tunnels or cracks, snakes needed immediate stopping power. A rodent that escapes becomes calories lost, energy wasted, risk increased. Evolution eliminated that inefficiency by sharpening toxins into instant paralysis or rapid collapse of circulation. This duality within the same continent highlights one of Asia's most unique evolutionary patterns: divergence through ecological extremes. What thrives in the humid jungles of Borneo cannot survive the frozen slopes of the Himalayas, and what thrives in the dry plains of India would struggle in mangrove swamps. But snakes adapted to all these worlds, each carrying a different evolutionary solution to the same fundamental question: how to survive as a limbless predator in landscapes filled with competitors. Island evolution contributes another layer of fascination. Snakes isolated on islands tend to evolve faster and more dramatically than their mainland relatives. The Habu vipers of the Ryukyu Islands in Taiwan are perfect examples. Their venom evolved to reflect the prey available on small landmasses and the fluctuating conditions of island climates. Limited territory forces precision. Limited prey forces efficiency. Limited genetic diversity forces accelerated mutation pathways. These snakes must be adaptable or face extinction. Their venom, therefore, represents evolution under pressure, optimized for survival in environments where mistakes are not forgiven. Meanwhile, continental species evolved along broader, more diverse trajectories. They face more competition, more variety in prey, and more environmental instability. Their venoms became complex biochemical tools, capable of affecting multiple physiological systems at once. This complexity makes Asian venoms some of the most studied in the world, and some of the hardest to fully decode. One of the fascinating curiosities in snake evolution is bioluminescence, or at least the appearance of it. While snakes themselves do not glow, certain species display reflective properties under ultraviolet light, making their patterns appear luminous. Scientists believe this may play a role in camouflage, communication, or even predator confusion. This reflective adaptation, subtle yet visually striking, is an evolutionary niche that sets some Asian species apart. Temperature tolerance is another marvel. Some snakes in Central and East Asia survive conditions that would shut down the metabolism of most reptiles. Through physiological regulation and cellular adjustments, they endure freezing nights and extreme heat waves. Their enzymes function across wide temperature ranges, and their blood chemistry adapts to maintain organ function during thermal stress. These thermal abilities evolved in direct response to Asia's contrasting environments. Evolution selected for snakes that could move between climate extremes without losing metabolic balance. Biomechanics adds even more layers of complexity. The speed of the viper strike, for example, is one of nature's finest examples of kinetic design. The strike must be instantaneous, accurate, and coordinated. Evolution refined every bone, muscle, and joint to produce a motion that seems supernatural. But beneath the apparent magic lies physics: elastic recoil in tendons, muscle contraction rates optimized for sudden release, jaw articulation designed to maximize penetration depth. This strike is not aggression. It is engineering. Some snakes evolved the fastest acceleration of any limbless vertebrate, launching their heads like biological projectiles. Others evolved slower, more controlled strikes tailored for defensive warnings rather than offensive kills. The diversity is endless. And yet, even prey evolved alongside these predators. Certain rodents in Asia developed partial resistance to venom. Their blood-clotting pathways altered. Their receptors mutated. Their cell membrane strengthened. Evolution is not one-sided. It is an arms race. Snakes upgrade venom. Prey upgrades defenses. The cycle repeats across millions of years, pushing both sides toward remarkable biological innovations. In this constant competition, only the most adaptable survive. Snakes capable of modifying venom composition across generations gain advantage. Prey capable of resisting toxins through genetic mutations gain time. This reciprocal pressure gives rise to some of the most fascinating venom and tissue interactions in the natural world. What looks like a simple predator-prey relationship is, in truth, a biochemical dialogue, a negotiation between molecules and survival. Asia's evolutionary laboratory does not limit itself to biochemical innovation. It also reshapes anatomy, behavior, and ecology in surprising ways. One example lies in body form. Some Asian snakes developed incredibly slender bodies to navigate bamboo forests, sliding through narrow gaps with acrobatic ease. Others evolved thick muscular frames for anchoring in rocky terrain or climbing vertical surfaces with slow, powerful precision. This diversity in body shape is not aesthetic. It is functional. Bamboo forests require flexibility and speed. Rocky mountains require leverage and stability. Mangroves demand amphibious agility. Deserts reward energy conservation. Asia forced snakes to specialize in their movement as much as their venom. Even respiration adapted to ecological demands. Snakes developed the ability to regulate breathing with extreme precision, adjusting oxygen intake during long periods of stillness. They can remain motionless for hours, minimizing vibration and heat output, becoming invisible not by color, but by presence. Their hearts slow. Their muscles relax. Their metabolism drops. This physiological harmony allows them to ambush prey with perfect timing. Another evolutionary curiosity lies in reproductive strategy. Some Asian species evolved live birth in response to cold environments where eggs would not survive temperature fluctuations. Others evolved egg-laying cycles, synced with monsoon seasons, to ensure hatchlings emerge when prey is abundant. Even parental behavior varies. The king cobra, for example, is the only snake known to build a nest and guard eggs. This unusual behavior evolved from pressures unique to its environment. The ability to protect offspring increased survival rates in ecosystems where predators could easily locate unattended nests. Evolution engineered intelligence where it was needed. Coloration and patterning also reveal the continent's ecological diversity. Some species develop disruptive patterns that break their outline in dappled forest light. Others evolved bright coloration not to warn predators, but to mimic poisonous insects or toxic amphibians. Mimicry extends into behavior as well. Certain non-venomous snakes imitate the posture and hood flare of cobras, discouraging predators that have learned to avoid elapids. This behavioral evolution demonstrates how survival pressures shape not only biology but also performance. Snakes perform safety through illusion when they lack biochemical power. Still, the most remarkable evolutionary trait in Asian snakes may be their adaptability to human environments. Unlike many predators, they do not require untouched wilderness. They navigate rice fields, farms, urban edges, and abandoned structures. Their ability to modify hunting strategies, adjust movement patterns, and exploit new ecological gaps allows them to persist where other species vanish. Evolution rewarded behavioral flexibility as much as venom potency. As humans expanded into natural landscapes, snakes adjusted, reshaping their ecological identities without losing their fundamental biology. The interplay between continental and insular evolution adds even more intrigue. Continental snakes benefit from gene flow across large populations, maintaining diversity and stability. Island snakes face genetic bottlenecks, forcing rapid mutation and innovation. These evolutionary tensions create some of the most unique venom profiles in the world. Even the fastest strike biomechanics trace back to these pressures. On mainland territories filled with predators and competing species, the first strike needed to be final. Hesitation meant death. On islands, where competition is limited but prey is scarce, venom needed to be efficient but not wasteful. Energy conservation shaped both venom formulation and strike behavior. Across all these adaptations, one truth becomes clear. Asia is the epicenter of venom complexity because it is the epicenter of ecological challenge. Its landscapes push species to extremes. Its climate shifts dramatically. Its prey is diverse and unpredictable. Its evolutionary history spans continental collisions, volcanic upheaval, ice ages, and sea level changes. Snakes born in this laboratory were forged under pressure, and pressure creates refinement. Every curiosity, whether reflective skin, thermal tolerance, venom variation, or kinetic specialization, is a fingerprint of that refinement. Asia snakes are not only dangerous, they are masterpieces of survival crafted over millions of years. Their evolution tells a story of innovation, adaptation, and relentless biological negotiation. And beyond the science lies something more profound. Snakes reflect the landscapes they inhabit. They mirror the history of the continent. They embody the forces that shaped Asia itself. To study them is to study evolution in its purest form. To witness them is to witness nature's ability to solve problems with elegance and precision. And when their paths cross with ours, they remind us of a deeper truth. The natural world does not evolve for our understanding. It evolves for survival. Snakes are not anomalies. They are answers written by time. Asia is more than a continent. It is a living archive of evolution, a place where climate, geography, and time carved serpents into forms that seem older than memory itself. When we follow these snakes through forests, deserts, mountains, and islands, we are not simply observing predators. We are witnessing the results of millions of years of pressure shaping life into its most efficient version. Each venom molecule carries the story of ancient ecosystems. Each heat-sensing pit holds the wisdom of dark forests where sight alone was not enough. Each silent movement reflects the discipline of a creature that survives not by force, but by precision. These snakes do not represent malice or threat. They represent balance. They are guardians of stability in ecosystems that rely on their presence to regulate populations and maintain natural order. Their venom, feared by many, is not cruelty. It is a tool of survival refined by time, a way to feed without waste, a way to defend without conflict. To understand these snakes is to understand evolution itself. It is to recognize that nature rarely rewards excess or chaos. It rewards clarity, efficiency, and design. The vipers with their devastating hemotoxic formulas, the elapids with their silent neurological precision, the island species shaped by isolation, and the continental giants evolved under relentless competition. All of them reflect different answers to the same question. How does life endure in a world that never stops changing? And the deeper we look, the more we realize something humbling. We are temporary witnesses in a timeline far older than our species. These snakes existed before our civilizations rose, and they will likely remain long after our footprints fade. Their survival is not an accident. It is mastery. In the end, Asia reminds us that nature is not defined by what is dangerous, but by what is perfectly adapted. The continent breathes history, and its serpents carry that history in every scale and every strike. They rule not through strength, but through perfection. As we close this journey, we do not leave with fear. We leave with respect. For in the silence of Asia's wild landscapes, these snakes continue their ancient work, balancing ecosystems, refining evolution, and reminding us that the world is far more intricate than we often imagine. If you wish to explore more empires of serpents, more hidden sciences, and more stories carved in evolution's oldest scripts, continue this journey with us. Nature still has many secrets to reveal, and every episode brings us closer to understanding the brilliance it hides.